Hello everyone. Today I'd like to give you a brief overview of a site called CodePen. I'm already at the site here in my browser in codepen.io, so you should browse there too. And here I am at the landing page and I haven't logged in, I don't have an account. What I'm going to show you now is just a very brief overview of what this site can be used for. A pen in this site is kind of like a code snippet. It's code you can write, or you can also explore pens that the community has put up on the site for you to consume. Let's start there. Let's have a look at what a pen might look like. To do that, I'm going over here on the top right to the search button, and I get a nice big search text box. And if I just type in a term that I'm interested in, for example, button, and I just wait a brief second, you'll see that that search returns 936,000 pens. So these are pieces of code that other people have shared that contain something to do with buttons, the keyword button. And so this is the list that you'll get back, and you can explore and do a lot of configuration on the search. To see the code behind one of these, you would click on the tile that has been returned, and I'll click on this one, and you can see an editor opens up, and it has a HTML pane, a CSS pane, a JavaScript pane, and an output pane. This is just an example. We won't go into the code in this example, but you can see that the very much live, there's a live preview of what's being shown here from the code out down here below in the output window. So let's go back. That was just an example of a pen that someone else has created and they've decided to share publicly. Why don't we try and create our first pen? To do that, we're going to come over to the Create button here, click on New Pen. Now you'll notice I still haven't logged in, I'm just using the site as a public visitor. So I click on New Pen and an empty editor opens up. You can see the three panes, HTML, CSS and JavaScript. A nice big output panel here down in the bottom. If you don't like this view, go ahead and change view, and you can reconfigure it to have editors on the left, the editors on the right, etc. Now I'll just stick to the default view. Also only going to code some HTML, so here I'm going to maximize the HTML editor, which slides the others out of view. I have a nice lot of space here to work with. To save some time, let's just paste in some HTML. And what you see here is that the preview is live, as in when I make a change in my code, it shows up in the output practically instantaneously, which is a really great feature. Let's change the code to watch that in action. So I'm going to change my code hello CodePen. I'm going to wrap it in a header, H1 header, and we should see that text get larger in the output panel. So I'll put in my tag, and you can see that it's actually expanded, which is great. A few other nifty little features that you can use here. If you get your HTML into a state and you're not happy with the actual how it looks on the screen, you can say tidy HTML. It will try to indent it a little bit better and spread it out so that it's more readable. You can even go as far as going into the settings and under behavior, use tabs over spaces. So that's a nice feature. So that's the code editing part of CodePen, and I encourage you, if you don't want to download a tool such other editors, you can browse here for free and write some code and see it appear in the output window. Take other people's code and play with it, explore some of their cool creations and try that stuff out as well. Another reason I wanted to introduce CodePen is because if you look at our course, you may come across this editor here inline inside the content that we've created. This is an embedded CodePen editor. In this example, it shows you two panes, the HTML code and the result. Switch off the result and just show the HTML by clicking on the result button, vice versa. I can also edit inline here. So for example, if I go into this paragraph in the code and I say something like hi, that will refresh on the right hand side the actual output, which is interesting. I'll just ignore that doctype warning for the moment. That's not really important right now. This is a live editing experience embedded into our course, but you can go over to CodePen, which is where we've been, and you can navigate to that actual pen that was created, and here you can see that in the CodePen site. And you get yourself an account on CodePen, be able to do stuff like just fork this, which is effectively copying this actual pen into your own account so you can play with it, use it, and so on and so forth. So that's the round tripping I just wanted to make sure you see. So when you come across these editors inside our course, you'll know that that's really a CodePen editor inside the content that you can then go and use on the CodePen site or use it directly inside the content itself. So that's it. A very quick look at the popular online editor and front-end code playground called CodePen. Until next time, happy coding.